Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Fardell with 2NURFM Hunter News. Some of us have had a rough time at work, but new figures show 92% of retail workers in the Hunter have experienced physical or verbal abuse. The findings are prompting SDA to launch the No One Deserves a Serve campaign. Barbara Niebart, branch secretary for SDA Newcastle, says it's especially important we consider the person behind the counter at this time of year.
Well, particularly at this time of year when, we're gearing up for Christmas and, people are very rushed and people get angry very quickly, especially if they're not getting what they want. And, the poor shop assistant, the retail worker and the fast food worker, they're the ones that cop it.
There were some dramatic scenes in Lemon Tree Passage yesterday afternoon. Police say a 48-year-old man barricaded himself in his home, threatening self-harm. A team of tactical police arrived at the home at around 2 p.m, and the man calmly walked out without any trouble. He was taken to hospital for a mental health assessment. It seems Gloucester residents have won the battle but not the war after the Rocky Hill coal mine was rejected by the New South Wales Planning Commission. Residents are now hoping the state government will buy back the Rocky Hill licence, but the company backing the mine have stated they intend to pursue the application. Greens MP Jeremy Buckingham says he was impressed with the response from the local community.
The people of Gloucester are ferocious in their opposition both to new coal mines and coal seam gas. They understand the future of their economic development. Their prosperity is in agriculture, tourism, in services industries.
Ausgrid is trialling new tree trimming guidelines across the Hunter, Sydney and the Central Coast to improve the aesthetic impact of its vegetation management program. Tree trimming is the biggest cost for Ausgrid's maintenance program, but residents have long expressed concern for the state in which trees are left. It truly is the giving season in Port Stephens, with 16 local projects and groups each receiving a share of funding totalling $300,000. Among the chosen few are 7 schools, 4 sporting clubs and 5 other community organisations, including the SES. MP Kate Washington says students of Irrawang are the major winners.
We've got some terrific projects funded under this round of Community Building Partnership grants. The biggest spend is going to be into Irrawang High School to ensure that their hall will be air-conditioned going into the future. Just this week we all sat in the hall and sweltered during the end-of-year assembly.
It's a part of the state government's Community Building Partnership program, which saw Maitland, Lake Macquarie and Newcastle also all receive $300,000. It's the time of year again when mosquitoes are at their worst, and Lake Macquarie Council is urging residents to take precautions against the bloodsuckers. Getting bit by a mosquito can occasionally lead to contracting viruses like Ross River and Barmah Forest, which causes pains, fevers and sometimes a rash. Council will be undergoing monitoring to determine if any local mosquitoes carry the viruses. And this week, temperatures are expected to rise to 41 degrees, with the heat wave particularly affecting the elderly and small children. With sustained periods of heat expected for a number of days, heat stroke and dehydration become an increasing danger. Hunter New England health physician Kat Taylor says the heat can interfere with already underlying health conditions.
So heat puts a lot of strain on the body, and while heat-related illness can affect anyone, there are certain groups of people that are particularly vulnerable, such as older people, infants and children, people with a chronic medical condition, and those who live alone. We really urge people to look after themselves in the heat, to avoid going out in the middle of the day, and to stay cool and keep themselves hydrated.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
The Jets have shown they are title contenders this season after their 2-1 win over Adelaide on Saturday. The side consolidated second spot with the victory and remained 5 points behind leaders Sydney. Coach Ernie Merrick says he believes his team can improve even further.
Right from the outset, I thought we'd put together a team that's capable of playing the finals, provided we could keep our best players on the park. And what surprised me a little bit, we don't have our best players on the park, but we're still up in second position and looking good.
Meanwhile, the Jets W League are in the hunt for the finals after a 3-3 draw with Perth on Saturday. 4,000 fans stayed back after the men's match to watch an entertaining game, which left the side in third spot on the ladder. And Wests are in a commanding position in their 2-day match against Newcastle City. The side was sent to bat and scored 297 runs before leaving City at 5 for 46 at stumps. 2NURFM News Time is 11 past 12.